employees think, hey, this is a great time that I could just focus on my work. Some may think, hey, this is a great time, I could just watch more Netflix. Leaders, I know some of you may not trust that they're doing their work, and some leaders, you give them the autonomy to do their work. Hello everyone, it's Coach Kalu here. I just wanted to make this video because I've been getting a lot of questions and working with a lot of my clients on how to make virtual teams work. With the situation that's currently happened, which is just dire and very stressful for a lot of business owners and leaders out there, and know that I'm with you. I understand it. I'm working through it with a lot of my clients who have teams who are running their small businesses or running their businesses in general, and it can be a struggle, and I commend you all for trying to make this work, trying to do the right thing by your business, by your own families, as well as your teams, your employees, and obviously the customers alike. So kudos to you for doing the best thing you can out of a bad situation that you're currently in. And so that's why I really wanted to share these 5 tips that I have been sharing with my clients and those people who've reached out to me who just kind of want some reality check or just a sense of realness or just guidance. And so know that you can, and I will mention that more a little bit later. But the 5 things I wanted to talk about in this video when we think about how to make virtual teams work is 1, maintain routines. 2, identify innovative technology that's going to allow that. 3, leverage engagement with the team. That's a big component, especially when they're not there. And then 4, be available. You got to make space and be available for the team. And number 5, it's more about continuing your one-to-ones with your team. The individual connections are still important. So let me break those down a little bit more details. So number 1, maintain routines as much as possible. If you're the employee, try to maintain your routine. So get up the time you usually get up to get to work, get into your morning routine. We're habitual people, so we do well with habits. And so those habits that has worked for us and doesn't require a lot of new thought is really good for us mentally as well. So maintain your routine, set those and set a structure for yourself. So when you get up, get ready. Maybe you don't need to put on the whole gamut, but definitely get into your work mode. And again, create a space for you to do work, right? And so that way, people in your family, if you have kids or significant others, they know when you're in this space, you're in workspace, you're in work mode, you float into that. And so routines and structures will do you quite well in this. Take regular breaks. Believe it or not, sometimes employees who work from home are just powering through it because they realize there's this higher sense of productivity that they never had before, and they're just going to go, go, go. You don't want to do that. You still want to take regular breaks. It's important to transition your brain to other things and get up, go for a walk, go outside, open your window, at least smell the fresh air, and go from there. So maintaining routines is really going to be the key to having that structure. Number 2, identify innovative technology. If you didn't update your internet, now's probably a good time. If you didn't get on that, high-speed internet because now you're home and you need to use it more than just social media and scrolling through things because you're now going to use conferences. There's lots of different tools out there, but find the technology that's going to work for you to do video conferences or connect back to your employees or connect back to your leaders in the organization. And then what about some other tools like file sharing, working with team space? There's so much technology out there that you can leverage. So be able to find that and leverage that. So make it innovative. And again, if you don't have access to a lot of these resources, there's tons of other resources that could be helpful. So think innovatively, right? Because for some people, you may not be able to afford on your bottom line to increase and add all this new technology. But again, there's things that you can be innovative, and ask your employees. They're innovative people, and so they will be able to help you out. 3, leverage engagement with the team. So what I mean by that is, Start your day, give them about an hour to get themselves ready, but then connect with the team. Have team meetings via video conferences, something that is visual and not just a phone call, because you want to keep that connection. They want to still see your face, see how you're looking, how you're interacting. Like, have something team. It doesn't have to be long. It could be 20, 30 minutes where you get on a video conference or FaceTime, whatever, and the team can see you. And in that call, I would suggest 3 or so main structure on that call. 1, check in with them. Ask them the question. So, what's happening for you? How are you doing? Right? Give them permission to share with you what they're thinking about. It could be their fears. It could be what's happening. It could be them getting set up. Give them permission if they get interrupted by their kids or someone to say, listen, it's going to happen. You don't have to tie your kids up. I got an interesting photo this morning of someone says, I'm working from home, and they showed all 3 of their kids tied up. You don't do that. And that person who sent me that message, you know who you are. But don't do that. You don't need to do that. It's going to happen. Flow with it. The dog is going to think, oh my God, you're home all the day, all the time. I need to play with you. So again, set that structure, go with it, and come back to your space that's going to allow you to do your work. So 1, check in with your team. It's important. And employees, if your leader's checking in with you, be honest with them. Let them know how things are going. They cannot help you if they don't know how you're doing. And if you don't want to do it in a team setting, definitely do it in the one-to-one setting. But let them know, because they do care and they want to know. And leaders, please check in with your team. 2, be clear about the priorities. After you've done the check-in, say, okay, guys, let's just be clear. What are our priorities right now, this week, today, this month? Be clear. When employees know the priorities, it's better for them to work through it. And given the autonomy to work through it, they'll be better off. Instead of saying, hey, I know everyone knows what they need to do. No, let's be very clear. This project right now is number 1. These tasks or those tasks that we just identified are important, right? This is the main thing I want everyone to know that they need to be working towards. Be clear with the priorities, because oftentimes I find leaders are frustrated, as well as employees are frustrated, because the priorities weren't clear. So be clear with priorities, and you don't have to have a long list of things. Top 3 priorities, really get through those top 3, because it allows for more focus, and then you can get into other things. The third thing on the call is get commitments. Before you end your video conferences or the call, get commitments. Get commitments from your team, get commitments from yourself, get commitments. Be clear with the commitments. So after a conversation, what did we agree to? I agreed to the following. I will do the following. Hey, I'm committed to this. I want to do this. Be clear. You can't hold people accountable if you don't know the commitments, right? So you want to have commitments. That's really how you want to be able to have these calls daily. And don't do it at the end of the day. No one wants to get on the phone at the end of the day and have a 30-hour meeting. Do it at some point that you know it's appropriate for your team, and that gives them an opportunity to take action. If you're doing a call at the end of the day, they don't have an opportunity to take action. So give them an opportunity mid-morning, afternoon, that they can still make the most use of their day. Number 4, be available. The biggest thing, because we all have moving pieces, but as a leader, you need to be available. And if you're not available, identify someone else who could be available. Because if these folks have questions or concerns, this could be an obstacle to their projects and getting things done. So you definitely want to be available, or make someone senior on the team, maybe more experienced or what have you, that can be available to the employees when they have those type of questions. And 5, the last one is about continue one-to-one. So although you've done the team, still have your one-to-ones with people once a week or so, and find out how are they doing. How can you help, right? Be that helper, right? How can you help them get the most of their day? You don't have to micromanage the process, but you can be supported by being clear with what is expected, right? Be clear with what's expected and then pull back. And employees, if you're given the autonomy to do your work, right? Ask questions to understand. And if it's not clear, find out, because you're going to be held accountable. to those objectives or those things that you've committed to. So it's important for you to make sure that is clear for you. So again, continue one-to-one, still get to know your team, give them an opportunity to tell you what's going on. In conclusion, I know a lot of times, employees think, hey, this is a great time that I could just focus on my work. Some may think, hey, this is a great time, I could just watch more Netflix. Leaders, I know some of you may not trust that they're doing their work, and some leaders, you give them the autonomy to do their work. Regardless of the situation, there's an agreement here when you're working virtually or when you're working from home that you're still going to deliver. The business requires you to still deliver on your commitments. So that's just one of the things I would say as my 5 tips for working in a virtual workplace. And I assure you, you're going to get the best results from productivity that you could possibly get, being that they're in a new place, their own place, but trying to merge life and business together. So hopefully these tips help. If you do need help or support, please reach out to me. I know it's a tough time right now. I'm available, so please send me a message, and I will see how I'm able to help. Until then, take care of yourself and each other, because keep in mind, we're all in this together.